Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Vishwara Paramahamsa Parifrajkacharya Sutra Sadasri Srimad-Bhagavatam Saranarita Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Rantaraj Srimad-Bhagavatam Ki Jai. All glories to the Asma devotees Hare Krishna, all glories to the Asma devotees Hare Krishna, all glories to the Asma devotees Hare Krishna, all glory to Sri Sri Guru Namaha Namo Vishnu Hare Krishna Krishna Guru Sarvata Bhaktivedanta Swami Devi Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Prasadi Devi Viseksoni Namaskar Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 This morning we are reading from Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 4, the Hansaguhya prayers, and text was 14, right?
14.
14,
Maybe.
okay. Yas samutpaditam deha. Yas samutpaditam deha. Akasan manyum mulvanam.
Akashan Manyum Mulvanam.
Akasan manyum mulvanam.
Akashan Manyum Mulvanam.
Atma yikya saya yachet.
Atma Dikya Saya Yachet.
Atma yikya saya yachet.
Atma Dikya Saya Yachet.
Sagunan ativartate.
Sagunan Ativartate.
Sagunan ativartate.
Sagunan Ativartate.
Yasamutpaditam deha.
Yasamut Patitam Deha.
Akashan manyumulpanam.
Akashan Manyum Mulvanam.
Atma yikya saya yachet.
Atma Dikya Saya Yachet.
Sagunan ativartate.
Sagunan Ativartate.
Next person, please.
Okay.
Yasamupaditam deha.
Yasamutpaditam deha.
Akasham manyu ulvanam.
Akashan manyulpanam.
Atma yasya yachet.
Atma yikya saya yachet.
Saguna ativartate.
Sagunan ativartate.
Yamutpatitam Deha.
Yasamutpaditam deha.
Akashan Manyum Mulvanam.
Akasan manyulpanam.
Atma Dikya Saya Yachet.
Atma yikya saya yachet.
Sagunan Ativartate.
Sagunan ativartate. Word by word, yaha.
Yaha.
Anyone who
Anyone who
samutpaditam, suddenly awakened,
suddenly awakened.
dehe,
Dehe.
in the body, akashat,
Akashan.
from the sky, manyum, anger, ulpanam, powerful,
Powerful.
atma yikya saya, by inquiry into spiritual realization or self-realization.
Or self-realization.
Yachet, subdues.
Shakti.
Saha,
Saha.
that person,
That version.
Gunan,
Guna,
the modes and material nature,
mode of material nature.
Ativartate,
Ativartate,
transcends.
transcends.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada. One who inquires into self-realization and thus subdues his powerful anger, which awakens suddenly in the body as if falling from the sky, transcends the influence that moves a material nature. When one becomes angry, he forgets himself and his situation. But if one is able to consider his situation by knowledge, one transcends the influence that moves a material nature. One is always a servant of lusting desires, anger, greed, illusion, envy, and so forth. But if one obtains sufficient strength in spiritual advancement, one can control them. One who obtains such control will always be transcendentally situated, untouched by the modes and material nature. This is only possible when one fully engages in the service of the Lord, as the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita. Mamchaya Vyapticharena Bhakti Yogana Sevatesa Gunan Samadhityakam Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. One who engages in full devotional service, who does not fall down in any circumstance, at once transcends the modes and material nature and thus comes to the spiritual platform. By engaging one in devotional service, the Krishna consciousness movement keeps one always transcendental to anger, greed, lust, envy, and so forth. One must perform devotional service because otherwise one will become victimized by the modes and material nature. Makyana Timirandasya Kyana Sana Salakaya Saksumniritam Yetasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. So, this is the chapter from Hansa Kunya prayers. But this verse is not yet one of these prayers. Let's see. Was it Soma, the moon god, who is speaking? As I think. Yeah, Soma is still speaking here, the moon god, and he's giving very good instructions, these boys, to control their anger and to advance in their spiritual life. Now you may ask that what is the Soma? He's a moon god, and we know these gods, they are enjoying on the heavenly planets. What do they know about the spiritual piety? It requires a lot of moral goodness and knowledge about the shastras and all religious rituals and lots of pious activities. And as we know, we have learned that moral goodness in general and pious activities, they are good soil where the spiritual life can sprout out. And in today's verse, he is speaking about anger. And here is nice comparison. Anger awakens suddenly in the body as if falling from the sky. So we don't know where suddenly I'm angry. And I don't know where from it came. This has happened to me at least now and then. That the anger overpowers, and then I'm thinking, contemplating, where from this anger came? Why I'm so angry? Well, it has its history. There is some frustration, some lust, and unfulfilling desires, and so on. And this create anger. Sometimes it is just modern ignorance. You know, we don't perform Mangala Arati at our home. Sometimes we think that we are so busy, we have to go to work and take many care of many household duties that maybe I don't want to do Mangala Arati now. But if we skip that, then these lower modes, they may overpower this ignorance and this mode of passion. They can overpower and bring among themselves this anger, lust, envy, greed, and so on. Therefore, all devotees who perform bhakti, they want to have a good sadhana. They understand the meaning of good sadhana and the chanting of Hare Krishna mantra. And this all starts from Mangala Arati. We perform Mangala Arati at our home, although maybe we cannot do it for 30 like we do it in the temple, because the neighbors, they don't appreciate our singing and playing musical instruments. We have to do it a little later, but anyway, Mangalarati is there, and this Mangalarati helps us to come to the modern goodness, at least, if not even to transcendental platform. And we can control these lower modes, and there are these symptoms: lust, anger, greed, illusion, envy, and so on. And we can also be very happy all day, because these things which usually obsess ordinary people, anger, greed, illusion, envy, lust especially, we think that they are part of life, but they don't make us happy. There is no lusty man, angry or greedy man, illusioned or envious person who is happy. If you want to be happy, then get rid of these immediately. In Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says that Traditya, no, I don't have my notebook here, Traditya, something, that there are 3 gates leading to that hell: lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give these up, because they lead to the degradation of the soul. Krishna is using, or Prabhupada is using in this translation good words. Every sane man should give these up. If you are a little sane, give them up immediately. Don't carry them in your heart, because they lead to the degradation of the soul. Now Krishna has a little higher goal, so that is self-realization. But if we don't, but self-realization still, we develop more goodness, can avoid us this feeling of happiness. And so this anger comes suddenly from somewhere, and Krishna also, Arjuna is asking that from in Bhagavad Gita, the chapter, that where from it comes. And Krishna is explaining that it is the lust, which is born of contact with the modern passion, and which is the all devouring enemy of this world. So it is, this lust is coming from modern passion, and it turns when it turns to anger, when it is frustrated, it turns to anger. Then it touches the mode of ignorance. So this is the whole science, how one becomes angry. And And okay, then we may ask, lastly, desires are not fulfilled for our satisfaction, then we become angry. But if they are fulfilled, then what happens? Then we become happy. Sorry, that would be too good. It doesn't happen. But then what happens? Once the desires are fulfilled, then greed is born. And greed it's terrible. Call it greed. It does not give us peace. It demands more, more, more. And there is no end to that. Okay, I give little more to you, little more. Then you are satisfied. Yeah, I'm satisfied one day. Next day, more. So greed and anger, they are two like pathways from lust. And because it is like, if it is like that, then it is better to handle this lust because it's like a root of all these unwanted qualities. But also because behind that is more the passion. So we should treat this more the passion actually. And therefore we should cultivate more of goodness. Okay, these modes, they don't exist alone in our consciousness, so that there is only mode of goodness, unless we are on transcendental platform. They make a combination, but one is leading, and if it is the mode of goodness, then it controls the passion and ignorance. In that way, these, also these ignorance and passion, they have some meaning. Ignorance we need because we have to sleep and we have to relax the body. We need ignorance, but too much, not too much. Therefore, more the goodness should control that. We need more the passion to create something. We want to do something, some creation. We need more the passion, but not too much. It should be under the control of the goodness also, so that it doesn't lead to lust and so on. More the goodness should control all these lower modes. And then when the person is advancing and he comes to the level, to transcendental level, he can transcend all these modes, also these bindings about the goodness, as we have learned from Bhagavad Gita that the mode of goodness binds oneself to the happiness derived from knowledge and no. It binds us in two ways. Binds us to knowledge and happiness. Because in all the goodness we can feel highest happiness in this material world, and also we get knowledge. On the transcendental platform, one can transcend this also. So there is no any more controlling the on the here he quotes Bhagavad Gita 14:26 Mam Sayoga Picharena Bhakti Yogena Sevate Sakuna Samatitya Brahmapuya Kalpate. One who engages in full devotional service with us, who does not fall down in any circumstance, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the spiritual platform. This is the result of Bhakti Yoga. One who follows Bhakti Yoga, he can transcend all these modes. But here in this verse there are conditions. One who engages in full devotional service, okay, and one who does not fall down in any circumstances. And there are two conditions. If you are intelligent reader of Bhagavad Gita, you can see these things. So full devotional service is required, and not falling down from the path of devotional service. Then we may ask that, okay, but if we fall down, then what happens? Yes, that happens. Devotees, they fall down from the path of devotional service, then you come back. It's not so that you do one mistake and there is eternal hell, like in some religion there have been this concept of eternal hell. You do one mistake, you sin once, and eternal hell. But you can come back, give up bad habits, and come back to the devotional service. And full devotional service, what does it mean? I always, when I read this verse, I'm thinking this: what does this mean, full devotional service? Or is there something like part devotional service? This means that we follow the instructions of the spiritual master and follow our sadhana process. At least then we can say that it's full devotional service. So we have promised to do this chanting of Hare Krishna, certain number a day, for example, and participate in these programs and study Prabhupada's books and eat only Krishna Prasad and so on. These things. And then, if you do like that, then at least technically we are there on the Transcendental platform. Technically. This Prabhupada is, in one lecture, he is explaining that technically you are there. Means that you are there a little bit, the heart has not yet completely changed, there is not yet full love for Krishna, but you are the platform, and as long as you are there, you are on a safe position. It depends on us whether we want to stay there or not. And if we want to stay, that's very good, then we are there. Once devotees, they asked the Prabhupada that, because we are singing on the morning these prayers to spiritual master that life after life, you are my master. What does it mean if we go away from Krishna consciousness? Prabhupada's answer was very interesting. He said that no, that is up to you. If you want to stay, you stay. It's life after life. But if you want to go away, that's your business. It's our will. If we have this desire to stay in Krishna consciousness, follow, then life after life is our master. But if we say that, okay, I go, then it's our business. The spiritual master doesn't take responsibility of that anymore. But you can come back again. That is there, that possibility. And then they asked Srila Prabhupada that if Krishna knows past, present, and future, he also knows whether we are surrendered to him or not. Right? And Prabhupada answered that yes, Krishna knows that you want to be in this material world life after life for eternal time. And therefore he comes personally to demonstrate his pastimes he sends his avatars and his pure devotees here to preach Krishna consciousness. He sends the Shastras and so on to enlighten you so that you can return back home, back to God. So Bhagavad Gita teaches us these ways to develop spiritual life. There is Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and then it is somewhere also explained this Mystic Yoga, which is like in its own category. And then in Bhagavad Gita you find Bhakti Yoga. And this Karma Yoga is for those who are very pious. They follow religious principles very strictly, and their aim is go to heavenly planets. It is in the mode of goodness. And then Jnana Yoga is transcendental. It's a cultivation of knowledge and meditation to understand one's spiritual identity and merge into Brahman effulgence. And then there was this mystical yoga, by which the yogi he wants to develop these yoga cities. But in that case, it's on the material platform because these yoga cities are related to material body. But the yogis who are meditating on super soul, they are higher, and that is also transcendental. At least it can be transcendental. But Bhakti Yoga is then completely transcendental, and it leads the practitioner to Vaikuntha or Goloka Vrindavan, which means spiritual world. And this Bhakti Yoga is then divided to Vaidhi Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti, which are similar but differences, the motivation behind it. Like we are following Vaidhi Bhakti, we are chanting Hare Krishna mantra meditation because our spiritual master says that you have to do it, and the other devotees are looking that we are doing that. So in order to be good devotee, we have to do it. That is our motivation. But when we do it out of spontaneous love for Krishna, without any pressure outside, we want to do it. That is Radha Bhakti. And now we are on the Vaidhi platform. We do our rounds, this meditation. And as soon as it is done, okay, put the feedback away and go to do something that you want to do, actually. And you can test yourself. And then when we are on Radhanaga platform, we don't want to give up this chanting. We want to do one round more. Although we think we have so many responsibilities after this, we have to still do many things that we should stop now. But no, one round more, one round more, half a round more, still one beat. And then we have to end because we have to do other things. We have spontaneous attraction to Krishna and to satisfy him by our chanting. Of course, we can do other things also. We have these 9 processes and devotional, 9 limbs and devotional service: Ravanan, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Svaram, Pavasevanam, Vandanam, Archanam, Dasyam, Chakyam, Atma, Nivedanam. But because the chanting of Hare Krishna is a very important part of our sadhana, we can use that as an example. Actually, all these other limbs, at least temporarily, we can give them up if there is some reason. But this chanting, we don't give up. This we always keep. And then devotees always, they want to do extra rounds. And if you have some really taste for chanting Hare Krishna, this spontaneous taste, chanting Hare Krishna, you find time for that, no doubt. You find time. But because we don't have, then we only do this extra chanting when we have time. You understand this difference? We do extra chanting when we have time. But when we have spontaneous love for Krishna, we find time for that. There's no doubt about it. So in this verse, Soma is instructing these boys, these sons of King Prachinapari, to give up this anger, because these boys, they were performing this austerity in the water, in the water under the surface of the lake. And when they came up from that lake, when their austerity was done, then they saw that the surface of the globe was covered by trees. And so they felt some anger, and by their powerful glances, they started to burn these trees. And it was explained that if we want to cultivate the land to agriculture, we have to clear the surface by burning the trees and make fields. So they were sons of the kings, and they were going to be the rulers of the earth. And so in that way, they understood that there should be some agricultural fields. Everything was covered by trees, and then they burnt them. And then the moon god Soma, he descended there to pacify them and said that they should not burn all the trees. And Soma is trying to explain then that trees, they are also living entities, they have a right to stand there, and they give shelter to many other living entities and so on. And that this anger is not good to anybody, but to speak of those who follow spiritual life, and one should give it up. And in this today's verse, he is explaining that one should inquire self-realization and try to transcend the influence of the emotional material nature, and this way control the anger, greed, illusion, envy, lust, and so on, as I try to explain here. Srila Prabhupada ends this purport saying that in Krishna consciousness movement, we keep everybody always transcendental to anger, greed, lust, and so on, so forth, because we are whole day engaged in Krishna consciousness activities. Somebody may now ask that, okay, but I go to work and I have to work there 8 hours a day, and it's very difficult to remember Krishna. But yes, in one sense like that, but also we are working there for Krishna satisfaction, because our home, it is temple. There to master race and or property, they are property, and we use our incomes for Krishna satisfaction. And our family members, they are also Krishna's devotees, and we together worship and serve Krishna. Okay, thank you for your attention. And here, next time we have text 15. Do you have something, comments or questions, please?
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for your wonderful class. The question is, you mentioned 9 processes of devotional service. Which of them are on the Vaidhi platform, and which of them on a Raganuga platform? Or should we make such distinctions?
The question is that we have 9 processes of devotional service which are on the platform of Vaidhi Bhakti and which are the platform of Raganuga Bhakti. Or is there some distinction? As far as I know, although my knowledge is limited, but as far as I know, that there is no such distinctions because the motivation to perform Raganuga is our eagerness to do it, our spontaneous love for Krishna, to perform it. So we can perform all these 9 processes, whether on Vaidhi platform or on the Raganuga platform. The motivation is one thing that determines what it is. This much I can say. Do you know more about this?
Sometimes it's said that this 7, 8, and 9 they are like quite high level, like becoming a servant, becoming a friend, and surrender everything. So it's like a very high platform, which is like in progression. But it's only one opinion on that because our main process are Shravana Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, which we are practicing like it's our daily bread. And we also do Vandanam. We do all of them. More or less.
Yeah, this, I think I have once heard this also, but I'm not sure about it. I don't have any statements from some Prabhupada or any scriptures, anything which would confirm this that some that they are on different these 9 processes. As far as I know, one can attain perfection by following even one of these. As Srila Prabhupada says somewhere, he says, you take even one of these and you can attain perfection by following them. In that sense, they are quite equal to each others. Anyway, we may have our individual these inclinations, let's say like that, individual inclinations to follow some of these more than the others. That's okay. That's okay. But as you said, at least those who live in this community, we follow them all more or less. But the main emphasis in our case it is the chanting Hare Krishna because the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us this process. Okay, something else? Yeah.
So all the 9 processes are applicable to Vaidhi and Raganuga Bhakti. It's all part of Sadhana Bhakti. Raganuga Bhakti is also Sadhana Bhakti. But it in Bhakti Rasamrita Singh emphasizes Smaranam in Raganuga Bhakti. Not that to minimize any other, but Smaranam is a very important part of Raganuga Bhakti.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So the comment was that in Raganuga Bhakti, Smaranam is considered to be very important, but does not. One should not neglect the others either. Okay, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.